So what's going on, guys? I'm Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video where today we are going to be taking a look at all of the intel we can find on the zombies map, Raid. Should I say Onslaught? For some reason a lot of people aren't aware, and I always see this question in the comment section. People say to me, Eli, how can you play zombies on multiplayer maps? Well, for PlayStation there is a mode called Onslaught that allows you to do that, and on these multiplayer zombies maps we find pieces of intel that in a lot of cases give us interesting story information that ties into our actual zombie story. The campaign, multiplayer, and zombies are all tied into one. They are all happening in the same universe, and because of that it's quite unfortunate that Xbox players don't get to experience this for themselves, because it can be important if you are into the zombie storyline. Nevertheless though, I am here to give it to you guys in video form. On the channel I've already covered maps such as Cartel, Satellite, Nuketown, but today we're going to be looking at the latest Onslaught map that was added, and that is Raid. As always, if you guys do go on to enjoy today's video, don't forget to drop a like rating if you want to. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. But without further ado, let's get into this. Here we go. So as usual, there are three pieces of intel you can find on the map. You get these from killing the elites, and when you pick up the first one, it is called Housewarming Canyon Fire. It says, to the attention of Roger Bothwell, Metro Desk Manager, Los Angeles Daily Press. First, Roger, I am glad you skipped my housewarming party. Something terrible has happened here in the hills. Everyone who came is dead. Sort of, and not because of the canyon fire bullshit being fed to the media. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it seems like a fast-acting disease or radiation poisoning. All I know is something explosive erupted in the middle of my property, and in less time than it takes to write this, my guests looked and acted like mindless rage monsters. Remember that story you did on people smoking bath salts? I think it was like that, Roger, but 10 times worse. I tried running towards Mulholland, but got turned back by some seriously geared up troops. They refused to ID themselves, but the shoulder patch read, Requiem. Are they stationed near here? I've produced 4 war movies in the last decade and never heard of them. I got back home but saw some of my guests breaking into my neighbours' houses. Cables out, but on antenna TV I caught a live shot claiming there's a bushfire up here and the gunshots are just illegal fireworks. Like I said, bullshit. Get the truth out, Roger. I'm leaving this letter in my mailbox, stamped, sealed and addressed to you. I don't know if I'll make it, but I do know postal service will resume, just like I know you'll get to the bottom of this. Be well, Eric Silverstein, President, Silver Screen Productions. The second piece of intel we find on Raid is called Housewarming, Stash Room, and it reads, I'm hiding in the security room I inherited from the previous owner. The cameras, the alarms, the communication system, all the tech geeks in town couldn't figure it out. I kept them all in working order, and that decision just might save my life. Everybody told me not to bid on this house. The owner went missing, he was cartel connected, and the feds wrecked it so bad it should have been condemned. But rather than scare me off, the house's checkered past made it irresistible. Which brings me to the housewarming. Over 100 guests, industry heavyweights, up-and-comers, all here to party at Scarface Central. I was showing one room to a hot new actress named Janie Locke when she popped open a hidden panel in the floor that every single contractor missed. It started beeping like we'd set off the alarm. Inside the compartment was an insane number of cocaine bricks marked with a symbol that screamed cartel. Was I going to jail? Were very scary people looking for these drugs? Janie only had eyes for the coke. She ran to fetch her agent, boyfriend, like she'd just won the lottery. I was trying to deactivate the beeper when something else went off by the pool. I assumed it was another hidden device or a booby trap, ran to the door, saw guests tearing into each other, and locked myself in. Then a message beeped on the security system. Don't know who it was from, but it was written in Russian. Russian? What the fuck? Has to be the previous owner's friends wondering who found their cocaine. But shouldn't it be in Spanish or something? Man, when shit goes wrong, it goes all at once. Janie's banging on the door now. She's not looking to do lines anymore. I'm going to see if I can get out on foot and contact Roger. If anyone comes for the drugs, they can have them. Hell, I'll throw in the house. And the third and final note is called Housewarming, Friends of the Owner. I'm still alive, my escape attempt was a bust. Turned back by soldiers. You'd think they'd want to get people out of the area, but I guess this is a martial law quarantine situation now. So I climbed back in the security room. Pure Janie was still scratching at the door. Wrote a letter to my ex Roger. I was pissed when he declined the housewarming invite. Now I'm thankful he was nowhere near this shit show. I need him to get the word out that something terrible is happening here and that the powers be are lying about it. So I left out details in my letter that would make it seem less credible. I just hope he cares enough about me to take it seriously. I checked the security monitors for more Russian messages. That's when I saw 2 guys dressed in black come over to the wall on camera 3. At first I thought they were the soldiers I encountered, but these guys carried AK-47s, the bad guy guns. So I figured they were sent by whoever wrote this message in Russian. Then Janie finally broke the lock. Didn't think that was possible for someone her size, but she chased me out of the window and around the estate. All the while I heard those paramilitary goons clearing out my former party guests, sweeping through the place like they knew every inch of this property. Janie cornered me in the room where we found the coke just as the AK-47 guys showed up. Janie killed one and injured the other before getting gunned down. I wanted to help the injured guy, but a few more party guests showed up and pounced. I slipped out of the window while they finished him off. I'm back in the security room now. Another message came through, this time in English. They call themselves Omega, and they're offering a small fortune to take the corpses and the stash off my hands. I gave them one of my business accounts, and the wire transfer happened inside of 10 minutes. So maybe things are looking up. I just hope they don't expect me to stick around and say thank you. So what we have here are 3 letters written by Eric Silverstein, the owner of this house and raid, the president of Silver Screen Productions, where he had a housewarming party. He invited his ex Roger, who didn't end up turning up, but while the party was taking place, a dark ether portal opened in the middle of his property, an anomaly, a gateway to the dark ether, the exact same situation as all of these outbreaks in these maps happen. The housewarming guests were then infected and turned into the undead, where they began to attack everyone. Eric then hid inside of the safe room, along with one of the guests, who was Janie. While they were in there, they discovered a secret panel, which revealed loads of hidden money and drugs. And then on one of the computer screens, text appeared in Russian from the Omega group. As we read, both Omega and Requiem were here, we know what reasons for, but in the end Omega ended up killing all of the zombies, as well as taking the stash of drugs. A few interesting things that Eric says is, when the Omega group were clearing out the undead from the property, they swept through the place like they knew it exactly. The drugs that are here belong to the cartel, possibly Raul Menendez, and we know from the intel we can find in the multiplayer map Cartel, the Menendez family were working with Omega, so we could potentially see the link here, and Eric was told not to buy this property because of its past. He specifically says, everybody told me not to build in this house, the owner went missing, he was cartel connected, and the feds wrecked it so bad it should have been condemned. But rather than scare me off, the house's checkered past made it irresistible. Whoever the owner was, they were connected to the cartel. Could it have been a member of the Menendez family? Maybe Raul or his father? All it says is they were connected. They could have worked with or for them. That also explains why the cartel drugs are hidden in the security room. We see the scorpion on them. So yeah, very interesting. There are loads of other pieces of intel, in fact, in all of the Onslaught maps, which is all of the multiplayer maps, I believe. Not all of them are as interesting as this, but there's still quite a few out there. And as we go on through the seasons, as we get more Onslaught maps added, that means more intel and hopefully some really interesting ones. I'd love to see potentially ones link into our zombies characters. There is actually one that I haven't talked about yet that speaks of Samantha. So if you guys want to see that, let me know by dropping a like rating. But there we have it. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you have enjoyed, make sure you are subscribed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, goodbye.